College game days game of the week is Appalachian State and James Madison, and this one has the potential to be really good. Not just because James Madison is still undefeated and all of the off-field stuff surrounding that program, but Appalachian State is suddenly playing really well. They won three straight, and they are a program to definitely keep an eye on. And this is again, Appalachian State has been that team that competes for a conference championship and year in and year out. And we knew it was a matter of time before you saw the program take a step back. And I think we saw that last year. We saw that a little bit this year to start the year, but they are finding their footing. It seems like they found their quarterback, they're finding their identity, and it's only a matter of time before they are back at the top. Now, in their way is a James Madison program that will give them plenty of trouble, but there's talent to watch. When you look at what we've seen this year for them, Nate Noel has been better than expected. I think that when Cameron Peoples left, we wondered if Nate Noel could be RB1. And so far, we've seen that from him. But it's also a question of can this defense be what we needed it to be or what they needed it to be? And so far, I think they've played more as a unit, and you haven't really relied on one or two playmakers. Now, you do have a few guys that stand out. Guys like Nate Johnson obviously have been putting the work, but I think as a unit, they've played a lot better. James Madison knows a lot about that too, and that's what makes this game so fun. I think that they're playing really well both sides as teams. They are playing well as units on both sides of the football, and that's what makes this game so intriguing. Because when you look at James Madison has done, the offense has stepped up. We needed to see what the offense can do, and having a guy like Jordan McLeod step up is really the biggest difference so far. I think his ability to take care of the football, put together explosive plays, his 26 touchdowns passing were probably the biggest difference because we knew they could run the football. There were some questions about who would be the starters at the skill positions, pretty much all of them. And so far, we've seen a lot of guys step up, and McLeod has been probably the biggest X factor. Losing a guy like Jalen Green on the defense normally would set people back, set a lot of teams back pretty far. But this is a group that is loaded up front. There are a number of players that can step up, and I don't want to say they didn't miss a beat when he went down, but they definitely have the talent to handle something like that. They have the ability to work through adversity, and it really hasn't affected them. When you look at the beginning of the year was a lot of close games. You saw a lot of games in which they just put away teams by a close margin or they just survived. The last two games, granted, the last one was against UConn, but a 40-46 win, still impressive. The game before that, Georgia State, a 42-14 win against a Georgia State team that was in contention for the Sun Belt Championship. That is a statement. That is definitely something that was impressive. It definitely caught a lot of people's eyes. And this makes that even more important because you're looking at a team that still wants to compete for a Sun Belt championship, which they are not allowed to do. They are also not allowed to compete in the postseason yet. So you're looking at a program that wants to make another statement. They want to continue lobbying their case, and now they're going to be on national TV for everyone to see. When you look at the talent on both sides of the ball, it's what's going to make this game really fun. And I think it's the best case scenario for James Madison because if you win this game and you win this game in thrilling fashion, people are going to join your cause. People are going to ask on your behalf for the NCAA to do the right thing. Highly unlikely, but we've seen weirder things when you look at what both sides have to do, it comes down to can their defenses slow down those offenses? I think both defenses are really fun to watch. I think that they have a lot of potential. And obviously, James Madison, a little bit more dominant than what we've seen from Appalachian State. But I think that the Mountaineers also have an offense that will test James Madison and James Madison's front seven. If if the Mountaineers can block them, then you're in good hands because James Madison's front seven loaded, absolutely stacked, so many guys that can be disruptive, so many guys that can make big plays. And that's what makes this game so fun. I think there's so many elements. The history of the Mountaineers and what they've been able to do in the Sun Belt, and also you always talk about the Michigan game. You add that to what James Madison is trying to do, an underdog story, and the Mountaineers know all about that. So in a way, I'm not going to say that they're cheering for him, but they understand what James Madison is going through. Everyone loves a good underdog story. I mean, Michigan's trying to make themselves an underdog. Georgia tried to make themselves an underdog the year before. Everybody wants to be an underdog, but the truly great underdog stories are ones like James Madison, where you have a certain level of talent that people overlooked. Guys like Jordan McLeod were overlooked because of their frame, because of their play, their high school. They just weren't looked at enough. And now you get their success on a high level, and they are trying to compete with the best of the best. That's what makes this game so intriguing to me. And when you look at the quarterback matchup, I think you have two guys that fly under the radar. Both of them can coincidentally 26 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. They both are solid runners too. So I think you're looking at a potential for a great game. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a high scoring game, but I think you have the potential to be thoroughly entertained. I think that's what the biggest thing is, regardless of if the Mountaineers win or if the Dukes continue their winning streak. Obviously, if James Madison wins, I think that's more beneficial for their cause. But if Appalachian State finds a way to win, then I think you're looking at a really fun team, a really fun storyline to follow. Again, 3 straight wins, has a lot of confidence, and it's because their quarterback has been playing a lot well. Joey Aguilar has done a great job over the past few games, throwing 10 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. And you're looking on the other side, Jordan McLeod on a similar path has 11 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. And you're looking at two guys that are really good and playing really with a lot of confidence. Now, when you're coming to pick this game, I have to go with James Madison. I know that the Mountaineers are very capable of an upset, but James Madison has the storyline that's really fun. I think it makes their case even stronger if they win this game. And it just pretty much puts all the pressure on the NCAA to finally do the right thing, something they should have done a long time ago.